Research can be a marvelous wellspring of ideas and details. It can also be a mire of quicksand that sucks you in and destroys you. Do you need to do research? If you're writing about something you know, especially something that you've experienced personally, or something entirely made up, maybe not. But most of what most of us write about falls somewhere in between those two areas, and that's when research can help. The good news is we are living in a golden age of research. When I was a young writer, I had to go to the library, but you have this whole big internet. The bad news is the internet is a gigantic, indiscriminate pile of everything, and a lot of it is garbage. So let's talk a bit about how to do research for creative writing. In academic and scientific research, you're trying to provide a clear, documented path to back up what you're saying. But research for creative writing is about understanding your characters and the world they live in. It should be an invisible well of inspiration and texture. So the rules for researching creative writing are, there are no rules. Anything goes, which sounds fun until anything is going. So in the face of this absolute chaos, how do you keep your research productive? First, find good stuff. For most of the past few centuries, people put their information in books. Many of those books are not searchable on the internet. So do learn how to use libraries and how to buy used books, which can be very cheap on the internet. One good thing about books is mostly they have editors and publishers with lawyers, so they have some sense of responsibility to fact-checking. You can also sometimes research by going to a place or talking to people who do a thing. But mostly you will be using the internet. And this is where you need to care about all those rules that you don't need to follow, like fact-checking and documenting sources. A lot of internet articles are just stuff that people copied and pasted from other parts of the internet. And a lot of internet material presents interpretations as facts. Please educate yourself about how to get safe and reliable information from the internet. Unfortunately, to do that, you'll have to use guides that are on the internet. Work on it, keep looking, you'll figure it out. In general, for creative writing, one of the things you want to look for most is people who are telling you about their personal experiences, things they have done or witnessed. And that's actually where the internet does well. It is a huge trove of images and videos and posts about real life now. And you can see what it's like to be on a street in Valparaiso or in an apartment in Estonia. It is unbelievably great for a creative writer to see how many people put their jobs and their lives and their homes on the internet. Take advantage of that in your research. Explore, be adventurous, be a little random, try things, make leaps. What you're going to find is there's too much stuff out there. So, how do you not just spend the rest of your life researching? Skim until you strike gold. And you have to wander through the junk pile of knowledge with a goal in mind. Set yourself small, specific tasks when you research. And remember, your main priority is not actually, is this true? You're not a journalist. Your main priority should be, does this research help me with my characters or story? If it does, if it relates to your people and their world, then capture it, collect it, gather it. Take notes, collect images, scan or screenshot or copy. Ideally, type passages out for yourself. I know that's labor intensive, but it means it's actually passing through your brain. And don't just pile all this stuff into some kind of junk drawer of research. You can't use it if you don't put it somewhere that you can find it again later. Gather your research in such a way that the relevant, inspiring, useful bits can be pulled out and turned into the stuff of your work. And this is really important. Keep your research separate from your writing. Put it in different documents, different folders, different fonts. It is very easy to forget what it was you researched, and then you'll use someone else's words as your own, and that is a serious problem. You cannot use other people's words or images or lives in your work without their written permission. It's that simple. An easy way to keep clear of that problem is to follow this basic, important principle. Research for creative writing is about finding raw material from which you must create. You must transform and find in it something new and your own. Whenever possible, think about what is essential, emotional, and narrative about reality, and then make up something that is yours using those feelings and ideas. Okay, so those are some basic tips about doing research for creative writing, but this one is the one. This is the most important thing I can tell you about research. If you are putting off storytelling and writing in order to do research, stop doing that. Do not put off writing to do research. Characters and stories are, of course, shaped by the research, but that's an ongoing process. You have to do that creative work, finding your characters and your stories, making those choices for your research to have a meaningful place to go. I believe you should write first and research during or after. It's best to think of this as a balance. They're related, they need each other. So if you find yourself swinging too far towards one side, pull yourself back towards the other. Look at research as a way to make downtime productive. I can't write all day. I want to, but I can't. So when I get burned out on writing for the day, that's a particularly good time to do research. There will never be an end to what you can research. So use your story to help you figure out which stuff will be of practical use and which is just fascinating but extra. How much research is too much? Every artist, every project is different. But just to give you an important reality check, FYI, the entertainment industry does not really care about research or truth. Your research will be at the mercy of a business that wants characters from the 14th century to have perfect teeth, or wants a tax advantage that moves your Louisiana Bayou drama to Salt Lake City. Literally hundreds of people will be changing the details of your script based on their taste or their budget or their problems. The really valuable research is the stuff that gets deep inside, woven invisibly, emotionally, into the people and the scenes and the story. And I want to mention one other kind of research that you should throw into your process. Research relevant movies and shows. If you are working on a story about medical research or ancient Rome or jewel thieves, a topic or a time or a place, do a deep dive into all sorts of movies or shows or stories about that. Even the really bad ones can stir up useful ideas. And if there is one thing that I hope you take away from this video, it's this. The audience wants you to give the research meaning. Weave the knowledge into the story. Use it to give us a deeper understanding of who your characters are and what they're doing. That's it. Go write something. If you like this video, like this video and subscribe to this channel. Leave me comments, ask me questions in the comment section of this video, or go to writingforscreens.com. Research can be a marvelous wellspring. Research. Marvelous wellspring of ideas. That was too slow. It can also be a blah, 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 blah. If you've been, you saw that, right? Pile all this stuff up, without their basic,